We are starting up with this session. So this is a session on software demonstrations. We had 6 talks. Currently, we have 4 speakers here, so we might have more people coming in as speakers, but seems like we have a bit more time than we thought. So we will be doing, there would be 4 talks, it seems like, and there would be time for Q&A after each talk. So we start with the first one, which is from Korbinian Eckstein, and he's going to talk about NiiVue in vscode. Please come.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. I have nothing to disclose. So let's start with what is vscode. And it's a lightweight and open source code editor from Microsoft. It's fast and responsive. Nearly any programming language is supported, and it has also a lot of additional features. It's quite extensible, and this is because there's an extension marketplace where you can download all kinds of extensions useful for programming tasks. And even the free extensions have very high quality here. So that's mainly the reason why vscode is so popular. Here's a Stack Overflow developer survey where vscode was by far the most common code editor in 2023. So why not try to build our own extension that helps us in our neuroimaging workflows? So vscode already supports to open files that are not text files. So for example, here I selected a PNG file and it's rendered on the right side. That's already quite convenient, but it would be even better if we can select a nifty image and it's nicely shown on the right side. So we built an extension just to do that. So now when clicking a nifty image, we get the basic multiplanar 3D view of the image on the right side and also a 3D rendered image. This extension supports a great number of different formats, so not only nifty, but everything which you can see on the right side. And I hope that covers most of the neuroimaging workflows that you guys are doing. So another feature that's especially important for my own workflows is to compare multiple volumes. And here, there's a small video. You can select multiple files in vscode, then right-click, NiiVue compare, and then you get all these images in synchronous scroll mode at the same time. You can simultaneously scroll through the slices and compare them, change the color scheme. That's, especially for my workflow, quite convenient. Another colleague of mine, she's working with meshes in her pipeline, so we also support meshes here. So you can, now the video is starting, so you can select a mesh, and it's also 3D rendered. You can add a curvature. The file picker isn't showing here, but you see that the curvature is added. And you can also add intensity overlays to curvatures. So that's quite convenient to quickly view your result images. Also 4D images are supported. You get a small graph for the time series view. So if you select a voxel of a 4D image, then for that voxel you can see the time series in the graph plotted. And another feature which is very important for my own workflows is to connect to a remote host. So often, if you have computationally expensive workflows, you might not do the calculation on your local machine, but you might be connected to a cloud computer or a cluster or just a powerful computer at your institute. And vscode supports that. You can work like on a local environment when you're connected to that remote computer. And our extension, our NiiVue extension, is already also supported. So if you're working on that remote workspace, you can just select, like you do locally, the neuroimaging files, and they are shown in this render plot. And the good thing is that now you don't have to copy your files manually before viewing, but VS Code handles everything in the background about copying the files and making them available in the viewer. We published this extension on the Visual Studio Code Marketplace, so it's very easy to install. You can just go to the Extensions tab, search for NiiVue, or search for Nifty. That should also work, and then just install it. And we didn't build this VS Code extension with such a powerful viewer from scratch. It was possible by collaborating with Chris Warden and the NiiVue team. They created the base viewer, which is an open source JavaScript library. It's hosted on GitHub. And this NiiVue library can be used to build and customize your own neuroimaging viewer. There's already a number of different tools using this NiiVue library. For example, there's iPine NiiVue, and that makes it possible to have this nice 3D viewer in a Jupyter notebook. And that's a really cool feature that if you have a Jupyter notebook and show an interactive 3D image that you can scroll through. And another thing that's nice in NiiVue is that it is quite fast, since it uses modern web technologies like WebGL2, which is used to do the rendering directly on the GPU. And that means that even your phone is supported. So on the next slide, here you can try it. If you want, you can scan this QR code, and it should forward you to a web version of this viewer with the default image already loaded. And in this viewer, this should be also this 3D image. You can click it, and you can drag it with your finger, and you should be able to rotate it. Just give you a few seconds. I see some of you are trying it. So the viewer is not meant for the phone, it's probably not very useful, but it's a nice little gimmick. But the web version can be useful because you can use it on any computer that has a browser. And without installing a tool, you can just use it to open your neuroimaging images. And this web viewer shares the same code base as the VS Code extensions. So they are kind of the same program. Then another little feature is if you want a local app, you can click this download button. And then it downloads it locally. It works without internet access and also has local file associations. So you can double-click image files and they open in this viewer. But it's at the moment only possible in Google Chrome. And that brings me already to the summary. So we created this viewer, which makes it possible to view images directly in VS Code. It supports a great number of different formats. It's simple and fast for imaging workflows. And it supports remote connections, which greatly simplifies working with remote machines. And if you're interested in this project, also have a look at the base library NiiVue. This project was developed on GitHub, and it's open source. So if you have ideas for improvement, you're welcome to create an issue there. Or if you have improvement ideas, you can create a pull request. I'm very happy to receive these. And also, there's a poster, so please come by and talk to me at my poster. Thank you for listening.
Can NiiVue be used to overlay images as well? Sorry. Sorry, it was switched off. The question is, can NiiVue can be used to overlay images as well?
Yes, you can overlay images as well. I only showed it for the mesh, but you can do it on normal grayscale images as well. There's an overlay button, and yeah, you can add multiple overlays as well.
If you have a question, you can type it into the app.
There's one
So
question.
you want to?
Hi, incredible software, well done, and thank you for bringing this.
Thank you.
I have a technical question. How do you go about, or I guess, what is the level of compliance with the Nifty headers, in particular the S-form and Q-form orientation matrices? Is there at least a mode to switch and ignore it and that kind of thing?
So that would be a question to the base library developers, but I think the support is very good. So for all images I used, it nicely registers them. And there's also a large number of test images, all with different orientation information, and all are rendered correctly. So I guess they took really a lot of care to make this perfect.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Okay. Yeah. You can use, or you take this one.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you if it's possible to customize, for example, to use a different atlas, like a rat atlas, and perform all the visualizations with a different atlas. Or it's only for human brain?
Yes, I think that should be possible. So it depends. So at the moment, this is just a viewer and doesn't do any calculations. But there's also a different tool called NiiMath where you can do calculations, I guess. And if you build your own viewer, this vscode extension doesn't have any co-registration or things like that. So I guess there's no connection to an atlas directly. So it would, yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to answer, sorry.
We have one more quick question. Can I visualize fMRI-based correlations for a voxel?
That's a no, because at the moment it's just a viewer, so it doesn't have any underlying computations going on. That could be a new project to create more capabilities. At the moment, it just is a plain viewer. So correlations, if they are in image format, I'm not exactly familiar with how these correlations are made. If they are in images, the image can be viewed, but if it needs a calculation, it's not be done at the moment.
Great. There are a few more questions. Maybe we will have some time towards the end, then we can do that. Thanks a lot. Great.
Thank you.
Okay, then